Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschat Deshatarine Paschat Deshatarine Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki Shri Govinda Damodar Stotra ki Shri Bilwa Mangal Thakur Maharaj ki Hare Krishna. Param Saubhagya.
Hare Krishna. We are extremely fortunate that we all are listening to the composition by Bilva Mangal Thakur, that is Govind Damodar Stotra, and along with that, we are also discussing the life of Sri Bilva Mangal Thakur. So far we have heard how, with all humility, he pierced his own eyes, and when he removed his eyes from the material things, he had the vision of the Lord. Till the point we all look into the material things, we won't be able to attain the Lord. That is what Narad Muni have said in regards to Prahaladji. People were unable to understand the mood of Prahlad Maharaj. Sometimes he used to smile and laugh, and sometimes he used to cry, sometimes he used to sing, and sometimes he used to be mute. So outwardly, people were unable to understand. People thought that maybe he is distressed by some planet. But he was mesmerized not by any planet, but the blue hood planet, that is Lord Sri Krishna himself, and he had taken over him. Why? Because Prahlad Maharaj's vision was not in the material world. So we should learn from both their lives, that is Prahlad Maharaj and Bilva Mangal Thakur. Although we are in this material universe and we have to deal with the people of this world, but we should just fill them that much, that is only required. Because till the point we have all these material things in our body or in our heart, then we won't be able to have the vision of the Lord. Gurudev Maharaj says in this past, discussing this pastime, that the Lord has his utmost mercy, and the people just get engrossed in the newspaper which is sent in the early morning, which has all the trash of the world. So whatever world that we have supposed to forget, we see them in the early morning and fill all this negativity and all these material news inside us. So it doesn't mean, or I don't imply that we are supposed to leave all material things, but we should accept only that much that is required. Otherwise, we won't be able to attain the Lord at all. If you see practically in today's society or in earlier society, that is like if we move back 25, 50 years back, the memory power of people was very strong. So we people used to remember the number of all the relatives, but now we don't remember any number. Why? Because all people don't even remember their own number. There was a time when we used to remember 50 numbers, because at that time the materialist transformation was not available, and now we have taken the support of this gadget, and now we are forgetting. So earlier, when the gadgets were not there, mothers used to share the pastimes of the Lord, and the kids used to imagine. But now the kids have mobiles, iPad, so they don't need to use their brains at all. And therefore, by using all these material things, our world is completely surrounded by distresses and anxiety. If I ask you, Dhanraji, so if I ask you a mathematical question, you won't be able to answer. If you write it on the paper, then you will get the answer in half a minute. But we have evolved ourselves and we are so much dependent on the gadgets that now we are unable to find a solution. We are so dependent. And now, because of that, we are unable to find a solution. But if we leave these material things and if we try to think or contemplate, then we will be able to find the solution. Anyways, when Bilvamangal Thakur lost his material eyes, then only he was able to get the transcendental vision to see the Lord. The Lord himself took him by his hand to the place where Srimati Radharani resides eternally, that is Raj Vrindavan. Krishna is never addressed as a king, but Radharani is the queen of Vrindavan. So where Srimati Radharani resides, such Raj Vrindavan, Bilvamangal Thakur was taken by none other than Lord Sri Krishna. Bilvamangal Thakur had intense desire to see the Lord. He thought that my life has been futile now, is futile now, as I'm unable to see or have darshan of Braj, nor I'm able to see the Lord. So as he was about to kill himself, Lord manifested, and the first thing that Bilvamangal Thakur saw was not his face nor his feet, but his he saw the divine effulgence that was emanating from the Lord's toe of the feet, or from the toe nail. And his nail is in the shape of a moon or a half moon, and there Bilvamangal Thakur saw, and he got the transcendental divine knowledge. Srimati Radharani requested him that you should share the features, attributes, qualities, and proclivities of the Lord. So he wrote a beautiful scripture, that is Krishna Karnamrit, and but he didn't wrote it while sitting at one place. He was so much engrossed in or overwhelmed by emotions, and whenever he used to get these mellows and when he used to have the darshan of the Lord, at that time whatever he could contemplate he used to write when he was conscious. So it's not a planned activity that I will use my brain, now I will sit here and I will write. No. Bilvamangal Thakur's scripture, that is Krishna Karnamrit, or the Srot that we are reading, that is Govind Damodar Srot, was never written by planning or by sitting at one place. So therefore, there is no sequence. First, the verse of Draupadi came. Whatever mellow he got, he noted it down. And he wrote 300 verses. So it was divided in 100 verses each. We all are the, or we belong to the disciplic succession of Gauriyas or the Gauriya sect. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has accepted the first 100 verses and presented it to all of us as Srimati Radharani had a parrot with her, as we heard a few days back. So this parrot used to roam and used to see the Lord Sri Krishna, and whatever the Lord has desired, he used to come and tell everything to Srimati Radharani. And while listening to that, Srimati Radharani used to be mesmerized, enchanted by the Lord. Srimati Radharani loved this parrot so much that she used to kiss him, she used to feed him pomegranate seeds by her own hands. So one is this parrot of Srimati Radharani who sends the message of Lord Sri Krishna to Srimati Radharani, who appeared as Shukdev Goswami. But Bilvamangal Thakur also has described the pastimes, names, and features of the Lord. Therefore, Acharyas have addressed him or named him as Leela Shuk. So the Shuk actually is Shuk Goswami, Shukdev Goswami. So the similar work has been done by Bilva Mangal Thakur with great magnificence and benevolence. Therefore, he is also addressed as Leela Shuk. And when we visit Vrindavan, then the devotees who are not entangled in the materialist food, etc., then we can go and have the darshan of this. There is a small temple and a samadhi of Bilva Mangal Thakur. I'm sure not any of you have seen, although thousands of people might have visited thousands of times to Braj Vrindavan. But when we go to Vrindavan as a devotee, first of all, we should be accompanied by our spiritual masters. And then the consciousness should be that we should visit the workplace, the places of the pastimes of these acharyas. So the pastime that we are listening about Bilvamangal Thakur, his samadhi and mandir where he has written all this is a place, it is near the Gopinath Mandir in the Gopinath Bazaar or market. So when he was ordered by Srimati Radharani to write about the Lord, then he was overwhelmed and his speech was uncontrolled and he started speaking not in not in an order, or but whenever he got this mellow, he wrote it down. So we can understand the mood of the writer then only. So when a person speaks, then only they get to know that how deep they are. Sometimes people say that our spiritual master keeps mute. That is so because he doesn't know how to speak. A person who is wise, his wisdom is portrayed when he speaks. And in speaking also, especially when they speak about the pastimes of the Lord, that is Shrimad Bhagavatam, then only we can understand their intellect. So Bilva Mangal Thakur wrote or recited this verse.
जयति सो मगिरीर गुरुर में अद्भुत चिंतामणिर जयति सो मगुरुर गिरि गुरुर में शिक्षा गुरुश्च भगवान शिखिपीच मौली शिक्षा गुरुश्च भगवान शिखिपीच मौली यत पाद कल्पतरुपल लवशेखरेषु यत पाद कल्प तरुपल्लवशेखरेषु लीला स्वयंवररसं लभते जय श्रीः लीला स्वयंवररसं लभते जय श्रीः। आप विचार कीजिए,
just
कृष्ण
contemplate the pastimes of the Lord Shri Krishna, and his form of the Lord, and he is going to write about such a great feat about the Lord. And first of all, he is bowing down to his spiritual master. He's venerating his spiritual master. So this is the opening. So first of all, he venerates his spiritual master. And why he should not do it? Because by the feet of the spiritual master is the only place from where we can attain loving devotional service towards the Lord. And Narottam Das Thakur had said,
Charana Padma Kevala Bhakati Sadma Shri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakati Sadma Vando Mui Savadana Mate. मुझे कहिए आप, ये श्लोक लगभग आप रोज
tell me, you all might be singing this verse on a daily basis, especially the sincere devotees in Iskcon, in our Iskcon temples at 7:30 during the veneration of the spiritual master. This bhajan is being sung. but we all singing is good, but just speaking it like a parrot or reciting it like a parrot is not sufficient. It's better to understand it as well. So you might have understood Sri Charan. So Kevala Bhakti Sadama. So Sada, what does Sada means? The lotus feet of the spiritual master is the place of unalloyed devotional service. It is the place from where we can get the unalloyed devotional service towards the Lord. That is the place from where we can get the pure devotional service towards the Lord. So we should bow down at his lotus feet carefully. Further, he adds,
भाई ये भव तोरिया जाय कृष्ण प्राप्ति हो यो जहाँ हई ते जहारो प्रसादे भाई, हे मेरे भाई,
he says, oh my dear brother, by the mercy of the spiritual master, we can cross this ocean of material existence and attain the Lord Shri Krishna. And if we have love towards the lotus feet of the spiritual master, that is the highest position for us. And if we have love towards the lotus feet of the spiritual master, then all our desires will be fulfilled. Therefore, Bilva Mangal Thakur, in the Krishna Karnamrit or his scripture or composition, he venerates his spiritual master. And what one can achieve by bowing down or venerating the spiritual master? So first thing that we can get the unalloyed devotional service and we can cross the material ocean. So, but when we try to perform devotional services, then there might be many obstacles. There might be bodily distress. You want to perform devotional service, but if you are not sick, so there is one Mataji, Bhagyashri Manjari Mataji from Goa. She has a problem in her body that she listens to the katha while sleep. So one day she had requested that I have distress in my body. So is it possible that I could listen while I lay down? I told her that if your body doesn't support, then even lying down on the bed, still you could, if you listen, then it is a devotional service. So this is an obstacle. She might also would love to listen the katha like others, like with a sitting position, but this distress in the body. And there are so many types of obstacles. There could be so many types of disease. Sometimes the people in society also disturb. So we, at the time of katha, you have a visitor, so you can't even refuse. If a family member comes, then if you tell them, then they will be abusive towards us that, oh, you are a great devotee now. So that is how. And there are so many types of distresses of the body and society as well. And sometimes even our heart gives us anxiety. It is mentioned in the scriptures only on the feet of mind. There are 62 kinds of obstacles. And the body and society, etc., are even more. But this mind alone gives 62 kinds of distress. So sometimes we try to perform devotional service, but we are unable to understand our own mind. So if I define it further, sometime we will listen about it in detail. So I think that what should we talk about the distresses? So there are 62. Of those 62, 8 are tam. There are 8 types. Then there are 8 types of moh, that is attachment. And there are 18 types of modes of ignorance. And then blind ignorance, this is andhra tamishri. So in this manner, there are 62 types. And in the body, if you have any distress, you can get well by taking the medicine.
समाज वाले को खिला
The
पिला
distress that you get through the society, you can just offer them food and welcome them, and just you can get them removed. But if you get distress from the mind, who is going to remove it? So if we get a disease on bodily platform, the doctor can cure it, but we can take care of the societal norms, etc., to get those distresses removed. But what about the distresses of the mind that we get? So it is said that these 62 kinds of distresses that we get could be removed by the mercy of our spiritual master. By his mercy only, they can be removed from our lives. Therefore, Bilva Mangal Thakur, first of all, had bowed down at the lotus feet of his spiritual master, venerated him, invocated him, so that he could have all the obstacles removed, he could perform his devotional service. So there are many types of spiritual masters. So, so sometimes people say that, yeah, we have a spiritual master, but these spiritual masters are not able. So if we have this understanding, then either we are in ignorance or we are trying to cheat others. What is the true meaning of a bona fide spiritual master? A complete spiritual master is the one who shows us the path, who educates us, who gives us initiation, and who gives us the scriptural knowledge. So when we get these 4 things from a spiritual master, then only it would be considered that he is our spiritual master.
तो भ्रम में मत रहिएगा, गुरु भी अभी अधूरा है.
And even if one of the element is missing of these, then that means that the spiritual master is also not complete. So we should not tell people that we have a spiritual master.
शिक्षा कहाँ हुई, मार्गदर्शन कहाँ हुआ?
Sometimes people think that they have got initiation, so they have a spiritual master. But apart from that, we should also have education. We should have all these 4 elements. Bilva Mankal Thakur has done a great feat. He said,
प्रदर्श गुरु को प्रणाम करते हैं, स्मरण करते हैं.
he first of all remembers and venerates his own spiritual master. So first of all, he talks about Chintamani. You remember we talked about her on the first day. He is going to write about the greatest scripture, and he is venerating a prostitute. Some acharyas couldn't even tolerate this. You know what they did? That this Chintamani is a synonym of a spiritual master. From one perspective, it is right. So Chintamani means the spiritual master who can give anything that we desire by just contemplating on that. So almost all the acharyas have said that this Chintamani is a synonym of the spiritual master. So he's my spiritual master Som Giri is like Chintamani. So they removed the Chintamani as a personality but addressed her as an adjective. But only Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, who wrote the Chaitanya Charitamrut, didn't hesitate to write. He said that I'm not criticizing or contradicting others, but this Chantamani word indicates too that prostitute Chintamani. So no matter whatever she was or whoever she was, but she became an instrument for Bilvamangal Thakur to perform another devotional service towards the Lord.
तो ठाकुर मुझे कभी नहीं मिलते.
He thinks that had she not kicked me, I would not have attained the Lord. Sometimes it so happens people speak a lot about your spiritual master. And even if the spiritual master is not like that, maybe they had a bad experience or a wrong experience. And even if we understand that the spiritual master is wrong for them, but what about you? He had put you on the lap of the Lord. So that is what we have to see. This is the age of Kali Yuga. And therefore, you will find so many people who will criticize spiritual master. They will say that you think that they are your spiritual master, but they are like this and that. So a person who criticizes, you should not listen. And if we even have to listen, or it went in our ears, then we should think that he might be wrong for you. Chintamani may be a prostitute for others, but for me, she was a spiritual master. She was an instrument for me to perform loving devotional service towards the Lord. So he said that I remember her. So although this is not the main discussion, but I just want to indicate this point that in our life, if someone helps us, we should never forget their mercy, and especially a person who supports us in devotional service or who have taught us devotional service to some extent or who had made us progress. So such spiritual master's mercy should not be forgotten till we die, whether whatever their standing might be. Chintamani was a prostitute, yet she is indicated here. A person who has given us inspiration. Sometimes people's parents have given some inspiration. Some husband has given inspiration, or friend or a spouse, etc. So whoever became the instrument to enter the realm of devotional service, we should never forget them. We should always respect them. Time to time, we should bow down at their lotus feet. Then only we can progress in our spiritual journey. Chintamani is not a shiksha guru or a diksha guru, that is initiating guru or educating guru, but she has showed him the path. So I venerate Chintamani. And then he says Somagiri Jayati. So this Jayati word is common for all of them. That is, I bow down at the feet of my initiating spiritual master. Chintamani was the one who showed him the path. And it might so happen that even if they might not be in devotion, but we have progressed, yet they are still benevolent for us. So sometimes on behest of our relative or a friend, we start listening to the Katha. He might not listen, but we are listening more than him, and we have progressed. Yet we should always remember this is so an indication is sufficient for wise people like you. So Chinta Mani Jayati. And then second number, Diksha Guru Som Guru Jayati. So the master who gave me initiation, that is Somgiri, I venerate him. Then Guru Ramay Jayati. So then the spiritual master who has given me knowledge. So the initiation guru is one. The person who shows us the path, that is Path Pradarshak Guru, is also one. But Shiksha Guru or the spiritual master who can educate us can be numerous. So I bow down at the feet of all of them.
अंत में कहते हैं शिक्षा गुरुश्च जयति.
So he says, Shiksha Gurushchi, that is instructing spiritual master, I bow down at his lotus feet. So for Bilva Mangal Thakur, they are all different four spiritual masters, but for some they have two spiritual masters, or some have one who does all these four things. But when you have all these four, then only you should think that you have a spiritual master, and if you don't have, then you should try to find them. Then Bilva Mangal Thakur is asked, who is yours instructing spiritual master? He says that he is the Lord himself for me. He's so fortunate because when he used to reside in Vraj, Krishna used to hold his ear and guide him. He used to tell him that you're doing this wrong or right. We attach it to the cult or sect, but the enterprise of instructing spiritual master, we should give them independence and authority, that if I'm doing anything wrong, then please hold our ear and please bring us back on the right path. So Krishna is my instructing spiritual master, that is Shiksha Guru. And now I bow down at the lotus feet of the Lord himself. So in the mind of Bilva Mangal Thakur, who is the Lord? Shikhi means more or peacock, which means its feather, and Molly is to hold it on his head. So I bow down at the lotus feet of the Lord who wears the peacock feather on his head. So that implies that his Lord is Vrindavan's Braj Jeshanandan. So he is not Vishnu, but that is the master of opulence, but the Jeshanandan who is the master of Madhurya Rasa. And the Krishna from whose toenail Leela Swayam Rasa Labhate Jayashri. So on the front of his toenails, herself Jayashri. So in Gujarat, usually they have Jayashri Ben. So this Jayashri, I want to tell about the same. So who is Jayashri? Jayashri is a goddess, which is the last word in this verse.
जयश्री एक देवी है, इसकी कथा
So please
शास्त्रों
listen about it. About her pastimes are mentioned in our Vedic scriptures. So who is this goddess? Because there are so many types of goddesses. So who this Jayashri Devi is? Shobha Devi also, or she is addressed as Shobha Devi as well. So that means that whatever is beautiful, that is Shobha. So the world's all beauty, if we accumulate them, then there is then it can be referred to as Shobha, and she's also addressed as Jayashri Devi. So she thought one day that now I'm 16-year-old and I should get married. So she took a garland in her hand. Then I'm so beautiful. So whom should I marry? There should be someone who is equal to my standing. So she started with the lower planetary system and she covered the 14 lokas. She roamed here and there. So this Jayashri or Shobha Devi roamed in all the 14 lokas, yet she was unable to find a proper match for herself. So therefore she went to Vrindavan and sat there.
तो जयश्री देवी, जयश्री माता हाँफते हाँफते
So she was told that just see and find in Vrindavan. So she said that we were unable to find in 14 lokas. How would I find here in this forest? So someone said that at least give it a try. And when this Jayashri Devi, which is mentioned here, started roaming in Vrindavan, so under the tree of Kadam, she saw a beautiful form which was playing a flute. So she thought that I was just roaming without any reason, because the spouse that I was looking for is here sitting in this Vrindavan. So she put the garland on the on the Lord, and then she sat on the nail of the Lord. That is what Bilvamangal Thakur is mentioning here. So on the lotus feet of the Lord's front part of the toenail, this Jayashri Mata sat there, or Shobha Devi sat there. So the whole world's beauty is situated in the toenail of the Lord in the form of Jayashri. Another Acharya has addressed her as Srimati Radharani. So this is that Krishna on whose lotus feet Srimati Radharani resides, and some has interpreted Jayashri as Lakshmi, the goddess of fortune, because Shri is referred to as goddess of fortune. So the world is mad or crazy about the goddess of fortune, but she resides at the lotus feet of the Lord. So such Lord Krishna's pastime I'm going to sing. So may my spiritual master blesses me and the Lord bestows his mercy on me. So in this manner he starts try. So we also start with Radha Damodar and do some congregational chanting and Govind Damodar Strot. We should sing that, and then we will proceed further to the pastime.
Shri Radha Ramana Jaya Jaya Navala Kishore Jaya Gopi Chita Chora Prabhu Jaya Jaya Makhan Chor Jaya Jaya माखन चोर। श्री कृष्ण चंद्र भगवान की, जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की। उपस्थित
Hare Krishna. We welcome all the loving devotees of Shrimad Bhagavatam. I also want to extend my warm welcome to the senior devotees of the International Society of Krishna Consciousness Iskcon. I also welcome all of you who have gathered through the medium of Facebook, YouTube, etc. That is all the listeners, and in the memory of their mother, Sri Vijaya Krishna Bhaskaramba Koganti's memory. This beautiful Katha has been organized by the residents of Delaware, Sri Nikunj Gopika Mataji. And she is in the hospital and listening to the pastimes of the Lord. And Vineet Chaprala Shalini ji and the daughter, all the kids. I welcome you all on the 6th day of the Shrimad Bhagavatam Katha. I welcome you all, and please accept our humble obeisances at your lotus feet. Radhe Shyam. We are extremely fortunate that we are listening to the Govind Damodar Stotra. According to the Bharat Varsh or India, today is Margashish Mas Krishna and the 10th day, that is Chaturdashi of the lunar calendar. And on today's date, for us who belong to the Gaudiya sect of Vaishnavas, and especially the devotees who are under the shelter of Shrimad Bhagavatam, it is a very important day because today Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's eternal associate Sri Sarang Thakur's disappearance day is today. So this whole month is pious in itself. After Kartik, this Margashish month is very special, especially in our country, Bharatvarsh. What happens in all the other regions and sects and society, people celebrate the new year in different months. As in Gujarat and in Bihar, etc., in the month of Kartik, on the day of Govardhan Puja, the new year starts. In Maharashtra, it is celebrated on Gudi Parva. In Bengal, it is after the Gaur Purnima or the Falgun Purnima, the new year starts from there. And for Westerners, after 31st December, on the 1st January, they have their new year. So there was a great king in Bharat whose name was Vikram Aditya, and on the day of Basant Panchami he started the new year. And according to the scriptures, on the day of Basant Panchami, the Lord Sri Brahma started to create or procreate this material universe. Therefore, the king Vikram Aditya started the new year from Basant Panchami, or the fifth day. So, all the different people from all the different regions celebrate the new year on different days of the year. But if we are to ask Lord Sri Krishna, or if we surrender this case to the Lord, that from where will you want to start this new year? Because there are different perspective of different people, and everybody is doing according to their own whims and fancies. So in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Ritunam Kusumakaram. He means that of all the weathers, I am Basant, and in the months, I am Margashirsha month. That is this current month. So the year has 12 months, but of these 12 months, I am the Margashirsha Mas, the month that is going on. In Gita, he has said that this is my form, or not only that, this month is me itself. Margshirsha Aham means it's me itself. While he was discussing his opulences, he said this. So this month that is going on is the month of the Lord himself.
अग्रहायन भी कहते हैं इस मार्गशीर्ष मास को.
Therefore, this month is also referred as Aghan. In Gujarati, it's called Margshirsh, and in Sanskrit, it's called or addresses Agrahayan, because Margashish Mas or month is the month of Krishna himself. Therefore, Maharaj Yudhishthir started the new year from this month.
इसे अग्रहायन कहते हैं. अग्र माने आगे.
And it is called Agrahayan. Agra means in front, Hayan means who came forward. So the one who came first, therefore, it is called Agrahayan. Margashish or Maksar. This month is going on, which is the form of the Lord himself, and such Margashish Mas, according to Bharatvarsh, this Chaturdashi is going on this date. Sarang Thakur's disappearance day was. Some people might be listening for the first time about Sarang Dev.
ऐसा थोड़ी है, कुछ तो नहीं भी पता होता है ना. सारंग ठाकुर.
So you know everything is not possible. So Sarang Thakur, in Satyuga, Prahlad Maharaj, the pastime that we listen, so the Prahlad of Satyuga appeared as Sarang Thakur in Kali Yuga.
कि द्वापर युग में,
and Kavi Karnapur writes in Dwapar Yuga, there was a gopi who used to recite beautiful bhajans to Lord, and her face was like a cow. So she was referred to as Nandi Mukhi, who used to recite these beautiful songs. And this Nandi Mukhi in Chaitanya Prabhu's Leela or pastimes appeared as Sarang Thakur.
द्वापर की नंदी मुखी चैतन्य लीला में सारंग ठाकुर.
So in Satyuga he was Prahlad, in Dwapar He was Nandi Mukhi, and in Kali Yuga he appeared as Sarang Thakur, whose disappearance day is today. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself introduces him as
कश्चित्र श्री गोपाल दास रामदास कश्चित श्री गोपाल दास और भागवत आचार्य श्री भागवत आचार्य श्री सारंगदास भागवत आचार्य श्री सारंगदास। भागवत का आचार्य कहा श्री चैतन्य महाप्रभु ने।
Chaitanya Mahaprabhu referred to Sarangdev as the Acharya of Shrimad Bhagavatam. So we all are under the shelter of Shrimad Bhagavatam. We listen to the Bhagavatam daily. So its Acharya was Sarangdev, and Govind TV has sent a message that they have sent. So let's see. So he is Sarang Thakur. It's such a old picture. And he is Sarang Thakur.
चलो उनको देखते हुए कथा सुनेंगे।
Let's listen to his pastimes while seeing him. See how much arrangements are done. Who says that Kali Yuga is bad? The fortune that we're getting, that even Parikshit didn't got it. He used to imagine, but here everything is ready-made. So here under the tree, they're discussing Bhagavatam. He's sitting and he's Sarang Thakur. And he used to recite Shrimad Bhagavatam. And he used to be always engrossed in Bhagavatam. One day it so happened, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu so he met a villager or a devotee from Kulia village whose name was Devanand Pandit, and he had committed a grave sin and he was scolded by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So this is one Devanand who offended the Lord, and the Devanand of Bollywood who offended Srila Prabhupada, the devotee of the Lord. So he made a movie where he kept a song, Hare Krishna, the Maradam. In the way he picturized it, there might be many who will be fans of Devanand. But Srila Prabhupada never used to be anxious or distressed, never cared. But he had mispreached or misinformed the people in a grave manner. So we are discussing about the Devanand of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was upset and angry on this Devanand Pandit. And when we are in angst, then intelligence is to avoid that person. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's anger is also transcendental and divine. So after scolding him, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu started to come back to his home. And as you have circumvallated Mayapur, you might be aware of his home, that is Yogapit. So he started to come to Yogapit, and on the way he met Sarang Thakur. And now you should listen more carefully. Please pay attention. So a person who is already upset or is in anger, and and if he meets some others, he will scold 4 5 others as well. So everyone who meets after that will get little bit affected by the same anger. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had already this anger in his mind, and when he saw Sarang Thakur on the way, he was pacified, his anger dissipated. Just by seeing Sarang Thakur, he his anger subsided and as was destroyed, and the transcendental mellows manifested in his mind. And the reason was because Sarang Thakur was always engrossed or was in the ecstasy whirlpool of Shrimad Bhagavatam. And please remember, a person who is a person who or a devotee who is always in uh, is droning in the ecstasy pool of pool of Bhagavatam, they, even by just seeing such person, your anger will be dissipated. So if you meet materialist people and when they're discussing about the business, so if you sit with materialist people or greedy people, then similar similar emotions will arise. And if you sit or associate with a great sage or a saint, then you will feel to become a sage. But even in devotees, the devotees who are loving devotees, by just seeing whom the love manifests, the heart pacifies and becomes patient. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told Sarang Thakur, you are the Acharya of Srimad Bhagavatam. You speak or recite Bhagavatam very well. You do it online in Amrit Charcha as well. You present it very well. So, oh Sarang, why don't you do one thing? Why don't you make some disciples? Sarang said that, please don't tell me to do that. I study Bhagavatam, I read and recite it. So please don't give me this responsibility. He said, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said that, oh Sarang, the Bhagavad that you sing and enjoy, that disciplic succession should flow constantly. Who will take it and it will flow to others? So there should be a disciplic succession. He said that it is a great headache. So let's understand the philosophy. A true spiritual master will never want to be a spiritual master for others. A true great spiritual master will never desire to be a spiritual master, but still he becomes a spiritual master only just by the order of his own spiritual master. That because of that, we have to become a spiritual master. Otherwise, they never desire to be a spiritual master. And in this Kali Yuga, everybody wants to be the spiritual master. And the disciples are less, and the spiritual masters are more in Kali Yuga.
लेकिन सच्चा गुरु कभी भी
But a true spiritual master never desires to be a spiritual master. He's not free from loving and contemplating Shrimad Bhagavatam. When will he get time to discuss about Bhagavatam with among the disciples? And if they have disciples, then they start comparing each other. But Mahaprabhu ordered him. So somehow Guru is being discussed today.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram,
साक्षात् हरित्वेन समस्तशास्त्रे उक्तस्तथा भाव यत एव सद्वे गाये साक्षात् हरित्वेन समस्तशास्त्रे उक्तस्तथा भाव यत एव सद्वे किंतु प्रभुर्या प्रिय एव तस्य वंदे गुरु श्री चरणारविंदम किंतु प्रभुर्या प्रिय एव तस्य वंदे गुरु श्री चरणारविंदम। श्री विश्वनाथ चक्रवर्ती ठाकुर
Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur in Guru Ashtakam says, if you see the first line of the verse, what should a disciple understand about his spiritual master? And in the second line, what a spiritual master should think about himself is mentioned in the second line. So a disciple should require that he should consider his spiritual master none less than the Lord Hari. So Sakshad Hari means the Lord himself. That the Guru or spiritual master is the Lord Hari himself, and it is mentioned in all the scriptures. It is mentioned in all the scriptures. For whom? For the disciple. So disciple should think about the spiritual master as his Lord. Otherwise, he will offend his spiritual master. When the spiritual master is far, they feel good. But when they come near, they realize that he eats like us, he sleeps like us. So what do you imply? That the spiritual master should not eat and sleep? If we don't understand or denote the spiritual master as the Lord, then by thinking that he is in a material body, we will offend him. Therefore, what the scriptures mention, that the spiritual master is no less than the Lord Hari, or he is Lord Hari himself. And all the great sages have accepted or came to this conclusion that the spiritual master should be considered as the Lord. So this is the perception of a disciple should think. So should a spiritual master think that, oh, now that I'm the God, so that to satisfy my disciples, okay, that you consider me as Lord, so I'm the Lord. No, this is the greatness of the disciple, that he consider the spiritual master as the Lord. But what is the religious principle or righteous principle for the spiritual master is mentioned in the below line of the verse.
Shri Charanarvindam. एक शिष्य गुरु को भगवान माने, किंतु देखो संस्कृत में
So it is said that the disciple should consider the spiritual master as the Lord. Kintu, that means therefore, or but, not therefore, but what should the spiritual master should think? He should think how to be beloved of the Lord. He doesn't have time. Rather, he should not have time apart from the services to love the Lord. So he should constantly love the Lord. Only then the disciple and the spiritual master both will be benefited. So the disciples don't respect the spiritual master, and the spiritual master is in the circle of making more disciples, so they both can never be benefited. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said that you speak such a beautiful Bhagavatam, so why don't you make some disciples? So he said that please don't tell me to make disciples, but please don't put me in this circle of making disciples. He said that at least you make one disciple. So I want to say that a true spiritual master he doesn't want to be a spiritual master. He doesn't want to be entangled. But if it is the order of the disciplic succession, and just to keep that order, he thinks that I'm not qualified, but as I have been ordered, so by just keeping that order in midst and to serve the Lord, we should, or he accepts this work. That is what we should learn from Sarang Pandit. So he was unable to refuse him, and he said that tomorrow when I start in the morning, whoever I see the first time will be my disciple. Not like us, that who will give more donation, so let's search for that person. So the sages and saints today are in the cycle of this. So Sarang ji had this principle that he used to go and take a holy dip in Ganga ji, and he had thought that whoever I meet the first, I will make him my disciple. So while he was on the way, he didn't saw anyone, but when he was droning, there was a dead body which came floating towards him. So he had taken the vow that whoever the first man or human I meet, I will make him my disciple. And he met a dead body, but he was the Sarang Murari. He said that I have promised to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that whoever I meet first, I will make my disciple now, and I have received this dead body, so I will make him my disciple. So this dead body also has a amazing story. A living human drones and dies in the water, but when he's dead, then he floats in the water. How strange is this material universe? So a dead person floats in the water, but a living person drones in the water and dies. So there was a sage, and he was taking the bath, and he met a dead body. So this Mastram said that, how were you able to float, oh dead body? He said that, how you were able to float? Then the dead body said, he said that, you also drone, you will also be able to float. So this is a great philosophical point. So we all are, so we are drowning in this material universe till the point we don't die. That is not the death, but the material designations. When we kill all these material designations and desires, we will also be able to overcome this material ocean. So let's come back to Sarang Thakur back. So this dead body came, and he said that, I promised that now that I will make him my disciple, but he is dead. So Sarang was a great philosopher and Acharya of Bhagavatam. He spoke the mantras of Bhagavatam, and after listening to that, the dead person came back to life. He was revived. And Sarang Thakur gave him initiation. So a person who was dead, why he will not become a disciple? He said that, yeah, I agree, I will be your disciple. He said that, do you remember your name? He said, my name is Murari. He said, now you have given me initiation. So he said, from today, your name will be Sarang Murari. So such Sarang Murari or Sarang Dev Thakur disappearance day is today. So we will pray at the lotus feet of Sarang Thakur that, as you had this interest in Shrimad Bhagavatam, please bless us as well, that we also are able to serve Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. We are able to listen and understand Shrimad Bhagavatam and imbibe it in our lives. So in this manner, Sri Sarang Thakur's character or life pastime has been discussed. So now we have covered till the 12 verses of Govind Damodar. So now we will proceed to the 13th verse.
निजांगणे कणके लीलोलम गोपी ग्रहितवा नवनीत गोलम आमर्दयत पाणितलेन नेत्रे आमर्दयत पाणितलेन नेत्रे गोविंद दामो दरमाधवेति। श्री बिल्वामंगल ठाकुर इस श्लोक में भगवान श्री कृष्ण के बाल्य लीला का
Sri
वर्णन
Bilvamangal Thakur is describing the pastimes of Lord Sri Krishna while he was a child. When he was a small, Yashoda Maya used to make him wear bracelet and anklets on his feet. And in that, he used to have the bells, and they used to ring. And Krishna was so small, so he was unable to understand from where this sound is coming. And Bilvamangal Thakur says, Nij Angane. So he was playing in the ground of his home, Kankana Keli Lolam. So all the ornaments on his body used to ring. Keli means to shake. And Lord used to think that from where this sound is coming, is someone following me? Krishna used to think that I will steal the butter, but when he walk a little, he, there will be so much sound that he used to think that someone is following. So he thought that, and the second day also it so happened. So he said that this sound is always following, and then he saw in his hand that this sound is coming from my bracelet or bangle. And he started checking what is this bracelet. So he was not checking, he was planning that in the future I have to perform pastimes with Radharani, and when people will refuse me, then I will go in the form of a bangle seller and meet Srimati Radharani. And it so happened as well. When Srimati Radharani was married by the mercy of the Lord, or his desire of the Lord, and to enjoy the mellow or mood of separation, instead of marrying Krishna, she was married to Abhimanyu Gop. So I'm speaking on this Kankan Keli Lolam. So she was married to Abhimanyu Gop, or a cowherd man. So her mother-in-law and sister-in-law, they were Jatila and Kutila, and they had the qualities of what their name portrayed. And Srimati Radharani was in so much restriction. She was not even allowed to fetch water. They thought that if she goes out, then Krishna will come and meet her. So many days passed, and Radha and Krishna could not meet. Radharani had this intense desire to meet the Lord.
पहाड़ में मैं जमुना को तीर, राधा कहती है पियू बसे पहाड़ में मैं यमुना को तीर, अब तो मिलना मुश्किल है, मेरे पैरों में पड़ी जंजीर, मेरे पैरों में लगी जंजीर। पीयू बसे पहाड़ में मैं यमुना को तीर।
So it is said that my beloved is on the mountains. He is so far from me, and I want to meet him, but I am unable to do so, unable to meet him because I am shackled by Kutila and Jatila. So she had this intense desire to meet the Lord. And on the other hand, Krishna also had this intense desire to meet Srimati Radharani, but now she is married. How would he meet her? So Bilvamangal Thakur has read that when I was a child, this bangle used to irritate me, agitate me, but today I will take its support and meet Srimati Radharani. Then Krishna took the form of a bangle seller, and his address is Manihari, and it is sung beautifully in Vraj.
वेश बनाया श्याम चूड़ी बेचने आया छलिया का वेश बनाया श्याम चूड़ी बेचने आया हे जोली कंदे धरी उसमें चूड़ी भरी जोली कंदे धरी उसमें चूड़ी भरी गलियों में शोर मचाया गलियों में शोर मचाया श्याम चूड़ी बेचने आया चूड़ी बेचने वाले का रूप धारण किया
So he took the form of a bangle seller. He bought so many bangles and he put it in a bag, and he took this and started roaming in the streets and shouting like a salesman, please buy the bangles. There is a Black Friday sale, please buy bangles of different colors. So when he was really selling these bangles and he reached Jawat, and when she heard that when Sri Radharani heard it,
सुनी ललिता से कहीं हे राधा ने सुनी ललिता से कहीं मोहन को तुरंत बुलाया मोहन को तुरंत बुलाया श्याम चूड़ी बेचने आया मनिहारी का भेष बनाया श्याम चूड़ी बेचने आया जब राधा रानी ने सुना तो
when Srimati Radharani heard that, she told Lalita Vishakha that there is a bangle seller. So when Lalita was about to leave, Jatila Kutila said, where are you going? He said that there is a bangle seller outside. I'm going to meet him. They permitted. So Lalita Vishakha went and bought the bangle seller. The bangle seller was so much conceitful. He said that I have not yet sold a single bangle, so whoever buys the bangle from me, I will give 90% discount. Lalita and Vishakha bought him to Jatila Kutila, he always used to sit on the door of the home. So they said that there is a Black Friday sale, and he has taken a vow that whoever buys the bangles first, he will give 90% discount. So he said that go inside and take as much as you can. So in greed, they sent. So a man, he buys 10 shirts and pants in 10 minutes. He doesn't take much time. But the mothers, she will enter the store. The salesmen get distressed. They take almost hours. They distress the salesman. And the whole showroom is out. And then they say, I will think next time and come. The salesman should die or what? And that is what happened. When this bangle seller came, Radharani said,
चूड़ी लाल नहीं पहनो, चूड़ी हरी नहीं पहनो, चूड़ी लाल नहीं पहनो। लाल गोविंद ने क्या बिगाड़ा है? चूड़ी लाल नहीं पहनो, चूड़ी हरी नहीं पहनो, क्योंकि मुझे श्याम रंग है बाया। हे श्याम चूड़ी बेचने आया, मुझे श्याम रंग है बाया। श्याम चूड़ी बेचने आया। राधा रानी कहती हैं कि
so Srimati Radharani says that show me the red one. She tried. She said that no, this is not good. Then bring the green one. No, this is not good. Yellow. Then she keeps on changing. She almost tried all the bangles. And then at the end she said that which bangle you want to wear. She said that I want to wear the blue hued or sham color, the color of the Lord. I want to wear that bangle, that color bangle. Srimati Meera Bai also said that I have already, I'm wearing the Lord and He is the only husband for me. Srimati Radharani said that give me the sham or dark colored bangle. So when Radharani
श्याम पहनाने लगे, हे राधा पहनन लगी, श्याम पहनाने लगे। राधा ने हाथ बढ़ाया, श्याम चूड़ी बेचने आया। जब राधा ने हाथ बढ़ाया,
when Radharani put forward her hand, when the bangle seller tries to put the bangle on the hand of the woman, then he holds the one hand. So he holds the hand with one hand and then he puts the bangle with other hand. So he took hold of Srimati Radharani's hand, and as he got hold of Radharani's hand, she felt familiar touch, and she understood that he's not the bangle seller, this is Kanhaiya himself.
लगी तुम हो छलिया बड़े, ए राधा कहने लगी तुम हो छलिया बड़े। धीरे से हाथ दबाया, धीरे से हाथ दबाया, श्याम चूड़ी बेचने आया। राधा रानी ने कहा, हरे कृष्ण।
Radharani said that you are very deceitful, you are such a cheat. So you came in the form of a bangle seller, and for a lover that much is sufficient. A person who has loved will understand. Radharani, who was in separation and had distress from so many days, the Lord took the form of a bangle seller and removed that distress. They said that. So they almost spent 4 or 5 hours in selecting the bangles. And on the other hand, Radha and Krishna, who hadn't met for so many days, they met. So today, Sri Bilva Mangal Thakur is discussing the bangle of the Lord. When Krishna was small, he used to play with these bracelets and bangle, and he used to be mesmerized by them. And when Yashoda Rani used to see him such mesmerized, so she used to feel overwhelmed with paternal affection for him. And Gopi, that is Mother Yashoda, used to bring the ball of the butter and Amardaye pani talena netre. Amardayet. And what did Yashoda Maya do? So with one hand, she blindfolded the Lord because Krishna was busy in this bangle, and she covered his eyes with one hand. So Krishna is thinking, who is he? Am Mardayat Pani Talena. So Pani means this hand. So this hand. So by the hand, she covered the eyes of Lord Shri Krishna. Now Krishna is thinking, who is it? And with the second hand, she bought the butter. Now Krishna is thinking, who is it? And when she moved the hand, and what he saw? The ball of butter. And in this manner, when Krishna opened his eyes, Yashoda Maya sung,
Damodar Madhaveti Govind Damodar Madhave Amardayat Panitale Netre Amardayat Panitale Netre Govind Damodar Madhaveti Govind Damodar Madhaveti. हे गोविंद हे दामोदर हे माधव ये माखन खा लो.
So Yashoda Rani addresses him as, "Oh Govind, oh Damodar, oh Madhav, eat this butter, I have bought this for you." So this is how the pastimes used to be performed. And in the 14th verse, Bilva Mangal Thakur recites, he gives a great instruction to all of us, the householders, through the medium of this verse. He says,
Vadu kadamba sarve militva samavaya yoge punyani nama nipatanti nityam punyani nama nipatanti nityam govinda damo dharmadhaveti. श्री बिल्वा मंगल ठाकुर कहते हैं कि
so Shri Bilva Mangal Thakur says or recites, Grihe Grihe, that means, so first of all, what is the meaning of this Grihe? When we use this word or speak this word Grih, and we imagine 4 walls and a roof. So this is a grih. But according to the scriptures, na griham grityautu, by just 4 walls, we cannot say it to be a home. It can be a house, but it can't be a home. So what is a home? Grihini grihi uchyate. A house that has a woman or a wife, that house can only be considered as a home. And the home where we have a wife, it will look beautiful. If you go to a home where there is no wife, you will feel, because they can't keep it clean. So a grihast is the one who is living a householder's life, who has a wife and children. And what is the responsibility of the householder life? What the residents of Praja, the house in householder life, used to do. So this is what we should imbibe it in our life. So it is considered as one of the main verse of the stuti. So before we can discuss this, we will take a small infomercial break.
Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, हरे कृष्ण दास प्रभु को कब से जाना था पानी पीने के लिए, लेकिन अच्छा हुआ ब्रेक लिया ना, तो उनका भी काम हो गया। आप लोग भी जो भी करना है कर लीजिए, तब तक ये सूचना हो जाएगी।
हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण। थैंक यू सो मच, बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। या आप सबको अवसर देते हो इस प्रकार थोड़े से पैर फ्री करने के लिए। सो थैंक यू सो मच शिव जी। बहुत ही सुंदर हम यहाँ पर श्री दामोदर अष्टकम श्रोतम को श्रवण कर रहे हैं, और इसी के अंतर्गत वर्स 13 and 14 नाउ वी आर हियरिंग। और 13वें वर्ष के अंतर्गत प्रभु जी ने बहुत ही सुंदर लीला का हमें श्रवण कराया, और उसके पूर्व बहुत ही सुंदर बिल्वामंगल ठाकुर जो कि वृंदावन में इस ग्रंथ की रचना की, और रचना करने से पहले सीधे उन्होंने अपने गुरु को प्रणाम किया। और गुरु कौन थी? वह चिंतामणि, माता चिंतामणि, उनको उन्होंने प्रणाम किया। और प्रभु जी ने बहुत सुंदर बताया कि हमारे जीवन में ऐसा हो सकता है, हमको भी मतलब गुरु की 4 प्रकार की होती है, दीक्षा गुरु, शिक्षा गुरु, शास्त्रीय गुरु और पथ प्रदर्शक गुरु। तो ऐसा हो सकता है पथ प्रदर्शक हमें भी हमारे जीवन में कोई ना कोई इस प्रकार से मिला होगा, जिसके माध्यम से आज हम यहाँ पर इस कृष्ण भावनामृत में जुड़े हुए हैं। तो सदैव हम सबको भी ख्याल रखना चाहिए, हृदय से सबको आदर करना चाहिए, और विशेष उनको जिनके माध्यम से हम इस कृष्ण भावनामृत आंदोलन में जुड़े हैं, वे हमारे लिए पूजनीय हो जाते हैं। जैसे यहाँ पर श्री बिल्वामंगल ठाकुर उस चिंतामणि को प्रणाम करते हुए कह रहे हैं, सर्वप्रथम उनको, तत्पश्चात अपने गुरु को, और समस्त शास्त्रीय गुरु वाले वगैरह वगैरह। सो इस प्रकार हमें भी सदैव इससे सीखना चाहिए। हमारे जीवन में भी हम कृष्ण भावना में जुड़े हैं, इस भक्ति से परिचित हुआ है कहीं न किसी वैष्णव के माध्यम से, वे सदैव हमारे जीवन में आदर का स्थान रखते हैं। तो ये ध्यान में रखते हुए हमको भी चाहे वे भक्ति में हो या ना हो, परंतु उनके किसी उस वाक्य के फलस्वरूप आज हम यहाँ पर हैं। सो वेरी वंडरफुल, बहुत सुंदर ये जानने लायक वस्तु है कि हमको सदैव उन वैष्णव का आदर करना चाहिए जिनके माध्यम से हम यहाँ पर कृष्ण भक्ति में आए हैं। और उसके पश्चात बहुत ही सुंदर उस लीलाओं का प्रभु जी ने आस्वादन कराया जो कि ब्रज में हो रही थी, और किस प्रकार श्री बिल्वामंगल दास ठाकुर ने जब उनको दृष्टि प्राप्त हुई तो उन्होंने सीधे भगवान के मुख को नहीं देखा, परंतु भगवान के चरण कमलों के उस नाखून से जहाँ से करोड़ों कंदर्प कोटि प्रकाश निकल रहा था, उनको देखा। तत्पश्चात भक्तों को भी सदैव गुरु महाराज भी कहते हैं और हमारे आचार्यगण भी कहते हैं हमारे वैष्णव एटिकेट के अंतर्गत। सो व्हेनेवर वी जब भी हम भगवान के श्री विग्रह के सामने प्रस्तुत होते हैं, सब भक्तों को प्रयास करना चाहिए सीधे भगवान के मुख मंडल के ना दर्शन करते हुए भगवान के चरणों से उसे क्रमस्थ दर्शन करना चाहिए, भगवान के चरण कमल से लेकर सो ऑन, इस प्रकार मुखमंडल तक अंत में आना चाहिए। तो इस प्रकार से दर्शन करना चाहिए, हमारे आचार्यगण हमें सिखाते हैं। और यहाँ पर हमने ये भी सुना कि किस प्रकार श्री बिल्वमंगलदास ठाकुर ने भी भगवान के चरण कमलों से उनके उस नाखून से दर्शन प्रारंभ किया। सो दैट इज वंडरफुल प्रभु जी, थैंक यू सो मच। ये बहुत ही सुंदर विषय, जानने लायक विषय वस्तु है जो हम सबको समझनी चाहिए कि कैसे भगवान के दर्शन करने चाहिए। सो थैंक यू। और साथ ही साथ बहुत ही सुंदर यह 13वां जो श्लोक हमने श्रवण किया, जहाँ पर भगवान सुंदर सुंदर लीलाएं करते हैं और गोप कन्या जो भगवान के समक्ष उस मक्खन के गोले को लाकर भगवान को प्रसन्न करती थी। और भगवान श्री कृष्ण श्रीमती राधा रानी की वह लीला को जो श्याम चूड़ी बेचने आया और भगवान इस प्रकार कितनी सुंदर सुंदर लीलाएं करते हैं, उसको हम अपने आस्वादन कराए। थैंक यू प्रभु जी। एंड बहुत ही सुंदर यह वर्ष 14th जो कि अभी कुछ ही पलों में हम आपसे श्रवण करेंगे, उसमें बहुत ही सुंदर गृहे गृहे गोप बधू कदम्बा, घर घर में जो ब्रज की गोपियां थी वे भगवान श्री कृष्ण के नाम लीला और के गुणगान गाते हैं, उसको हम सुनेंगे। थैंक यू प्रभु जी, बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद कि हम बड़े सौभाग्यशाली है कि हम घर पर बैठकर इस समस्त कथाओं का लाभ ले रहे हैं, घर पर बैठकर। बहुत ही सुंदर श्री शारंग ठाकुर का भी आज तिरुभाव दिन था और उस विषय में हमने आज श्रवण किया कि उनकी क्या महिमा है, वे हमारे इस परंपरा में क्या स्थान रखते हैं। जैसे प्रभु जी ने बताया दैट इट वाज प्रहलाद महाराज, नन अदर देन प्रहलाद महाराज थे सतयुग में और वही शारंग ठाकुर बनकर आए। तो दिस इज समथिंग वेरी वंडरफुल, अनहर्ड ऑफ समथिंग। तो बड़ा सौभाग्य है हम सब भक्तों का कि हमको घर बैठकर इस समस्त ज्ञान की प्राप्ति हो रही है और साथ ही साथ भक्ति में भी वर्धन होता है। सो ये भी प्राय देखा जाता है। सो all credit goes to Prabhu ji for his effortless इतने अथाग प्रयास करते हैं जिससे कि हम सबको यहाँ पर ये लाभ प्राप्त हो रहा है। सो वेरी ग्रेटफुल प्रभु जी, थैंक यू सो मच। और बहुत सुंदर यह कथा का 6वां दिवस है और कल इस कथा का पूर्णावधि दिन है, which we nobody wants, but this is what यही समय का जो चक्र है वह रुकता नहीं है, परंतु भक्ति में वे भक्त के लिए ये जो समय है समय की सीमा से परे हो जाता है, इन द सेंस कि जब कोई व्यक्ति भक्ति करता है तो वो एक शाश्वत काल की ओर बढ़ता है आगे जाकर, क्योंकि जब देह त्याग करने के बाद वो भगवत धाम को जाता है और सनातन काल जहाँ पर इस काल से परे हो जाता है व्यक्ति, उस अवस्था को वह प्राप्त करता है। सो क्योंकि आज इस कथा का 6वां दिवस है और कल पूर्णाहुति दिन है, तो हम आने वाले समय में भी इस प्रकार मिलने वाले हैं। बट उसके पूर्व क्योंकि यहाँ पर हम कुछ ही समय के बाद भगवत गीता मैराथन भी शुरू होने वाला है, तो भक्तों से भी निवेदन है कि आप सब भगवत गीता मैराथन में अवश्य अपना योगदान कीजिएगा। और आप सभी से अनुरोध है कि आप सब अपने अपने स्थान पर यथाशक्ति भगवत गीता वितरण कीजिए। और बहुत ही सुंदर भगवत गीता या जो गीता जयंती का अवसर आने वाली 4 दिसंबर को होने वाला है। 4 दिसंबर को जो एकादशी आ रही है वह वही समय है जिस दिन भगवान श्री कृष्ण ने अर्जुन को गीता का यह उपदेश अर्जुन के माध्यम से हम सबको दिया था। सो हम सब ऑन बिहाफ ऑफ इस्कॉन फैमिली हम सब इस समय श्रील प्रभुपाद की आज्ञा है कि भगवत गीता का वितरण करने जाते हैं स्थान स्थान पर जाकर। तो आप सभी से भी अनुरोध है कि आप भी इस प्रकार अपने स्थान पर भगवत गीता वितरण अवश्य करें। एंड इफ यू आर नॉट कैपेबल ऑफ गोइंग आउट एंड डिस्ट्रीब्यूट भगवत गीता, यू कैन अप्रोच अस, क्योंकि हम भी प्रतिवर्ष की भांति यहाँ पर श्रीमद् भगवत गीता का मैराथन करते हुए भगवत गीता का वितरण करने के लिए निकलते हैं भक्त के संग में। सो विशेष हम उन स्थानों पर जाते हैं जहाँ पर उन भक्तों को जहाँ पर इस प्रकार की ज्ञान से अपरिचित हैं, और उन स्कूलों में जाते हैं जो कि विशेष ऑर्फनेज है, गवर्नमेंट स्कूल होती हैं जहाँ पर इस प्रकार की शिक्षाओं से लोग परिचित नहीं है। तो ऐसे स्थान पर जाना, ऑर्फनेज में जाना और प्रिजन्स, विलेज पर जाकर यह भगवद गीता का वितरण करना, जहाँ पर प्राय शहरों में फिर भी यह इजी हो जाता है, मंदिर होते हैं और भक्तगण होते हैं, प्रचार करते हैं, तो लोग फॉर सम और अदर रीजन भक्ति में जुड़ सकते हैं, कहीं ना कहीं से वो कॉपी प्राप्त कर लेते हैं भगवद गीता की। परंतु उन विलेज में विशेष यह हमारा प्रयास है कि हम जाएं और इस प्रकार भगवद गीता का वितरण करें। तो आप सभी से अनुरोध है कि आप सब भी हमारे साथ में जुड़ सकते हैं, यदि आप अपने स्थान पर नहीं कर पा रहे हैं for some or other, so you can approach us on this through this number, where you can tell us that whatever copy that would you like to distribute on behalf of yourself, we will do that, और ये भगवद गीता भक्तों को दी जाएगी। So on 7567545555 आप यहाँ पर हमें अप्रोच कर सकते हैं, इस नंबर के माध्यम से व्हाट्सएप के द्वारा हमें बता सकते हैं कि आप यदि भगवद गीता वितरण करना चाहते हैं तो। सो बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद एक बार फिर से। आइए निवेदन करना चाहेंगे श्रीमान लाल गोविंद जी से कि वह शेष कथा को श्रवण कराएं। धन्यवाद। हरे कृष्ण।
गृहे गृहे गोप वधू कदम्बा सर्वे मिलित्वा समवाययोगं पुण्यानि नामा निपटन्ति नित्यं गोविन्द दामो दरमाधवेति। श्री बिल्वामंगल ठाकुर कहते हैं कि गृहे गृहे माने ब्रज में घर घर में, दो बार गृह शब्द का अर्थ है घर घर में, मतलब हर एक घर में क्या होता था, गोप वधू कदम्बा, गोपियों के
So
झुंड।
here grihe grihe means in every home. Gop Vadhu Kadamba means
गोपियों के झुंड
the,
क्या करते हैं, सर्वे मिलित्वा।
so Jhund, that is all the gopis used to take or chant the holy names of the Lord, and what we should learn from them is Sarve Militva. So the gopis used to be together. This word is very important for householders and devotees like us. The process to perform unalloyed devotional service towards the Lord is to come together and do the devotional service of the Lord. So why we should unite and come together? First, the process in this Kali Yuga to perform devotional service is that all the devotees should gather together and perform devotional service. That is the philosophical point, and it will benefit is secondary. But the theory is, if we want to attain the Lord, then we should come together and perform devotional service. And what is the proof? It is mentioned in Shrimad Bhagavatam. In Kali Yuga, Yagya Sankirtana Pray. That means the biggest homa or fire sacrifice will be the congregational chanting. So the instrument sorry, the instrument for to attain the Lord is not just kirtan but by sankirtan. So what is the difference between kirtan and sankirtan? If you do it alone, sing the glory of the Lord alone, that is kirtan. But when you come together and do congregational chanting that is considered to or called as Sankirtana. In Kali Yuga, it is mentioned that we should perform congregational chanting. Secondly, I'm talking on this Sarve Militva word. So in Braj, all the women used to come together and perform congregational chanting. Why? Because it is the philosophical point of Kali Yuga. And secondly, when the devotees come together, then they support each other. How? So sometimes some devotees have low energy, others are enthusiastic and are zealous. So a devotee who has less zeal, so the person who is zealous will transfer some of his power to others. So, and a person who is overzealous will be balanced by such low energy. So there will be up and down in devotional service. It's not a flat road. So it might happen that sometimes we are zealous and sometimes we are little dull. So you listen to the Bhagavatam daily. You all gather here. So do you enjoy everyone? So if I don't come one day, what will others will think? Prabhuji also see, Amina Prabhu also sees. So although we might not enjoy, but sometimes when we come together, there is a respect for each other, and no matter what, we are able to perform congregational chanting together. Once someone asked me a question, we were sitting together. So which quality you have the most? And I told him, Tamogun, that is the mode of ignorance. And then he asked, and he said that mode of passion, that is, and I said that Sattvagun is only when I am with the devotees. As soon as we leave the Vyaspit, the Rajagun, that is the mode of passion and ignorance, so you all are great exalted devotees. You are on the door of the heavens. So you're thinking whether we should listen to the Bhagavatam Katha or we should enter the heaven. But please do listen. So no matter the person is in mode of ignorance or passion, but if he associates with the devotee, he becomes, and it appears that after Shukdev and Vyas, he is the greatest exalted devotee. That is the glory of congregational chanting. That is the potency of congregational chanting. So these material modes of nature are due to our providence. And if we are filled with tamogun, then no matter what we try, but we will be always surrounded by it. But if we put some effort and sit in satsang or association of good people, then no matter what, the mode of passion or ignorance won't affect us. So you all are listening even at late at night. So we are attacked by mode of passion and ignorance when we are alone. But when we are in a group, then the modes of passion and ignorance don't affect us. So that what the gopis used to do, they used to come together in a group and do congregational chanting. So this is the system for Kali Yuga. That is the process for Kali Yuga, that we should do devotional service together alone we can do it, or if we do, we won't progress. And when we do it together, we get potency of each other, and by some shame or social decorum, we somehow able to perform devotional service. So if it's mentioned in my providence that at 1:35 today, I will be overwhelmed by the mode of ignorance. So do you think that in front of so many people, the mode of ignorance will be able to so its time has passed or elapsed? So we should try to sit in the association of devotees. When you chant alone, then we feel sleepy, we might eat, we might talk over the phone. But when we are in the association of devotees, then it doesn't mean that you become Haridas Thakur, that you are engrossed in chanting of the holy names. It's not so. But in association of devotees, there is some respect, mutual respect. We become sincere and serious and chant the glories of the Lord or holy names of the Lord. That is the potency or strength of chanting the holy names together. And the third point is the Lord also becomes very happy when we sit together. When the Lord sees that, he becomes so agreeable. You all are householders and you are parents of some child. If a father has 3, 4 children and you ask him if their children, no matter how much opulent they are or how much successful they are, but if they don't meet each other and if they meet, they fight, then the father can never be satisfied or happy. But even if the kids are not that rich, they are poor, but they live together, but they have love amongst each other and speak softly to each other, then how much satisfied the parents would be that our kids come together and live together. Similarly, we all devotees are the belong to the family of Vishnu, that is the Lord. And when the Lord sees it, he becomes extremely satisfied. And even before opportune time, he showers his mercy on us. Therefore, Sarve Militva, and the gopis already know that, they're aware of that, because they know the mellow and mood of the Lord. Therefore,
सर्वे मिलित्वा, सारी गोपियां मिलकर भजन करते
so
हैं.
all the gopis come together and do congregational chanting. So in Bhagavatam, the Gopi Gita is sung not alone but in a group. Even Venu Gita is Brahma Gita. All these Yugal Gita, all these songs are sung in a group. All the Gita in Bhagavatam are sung by gopis by coming together in a group. But we should remember one point, that when we sit with association of the devotees, it is very powerful and potent. We get instantaneous result. But if we offend a Vaishnav, if we have bad feeling for a Vaishnav, then the benefit that is we are going to get. But then if we offend, then we will get, so we will be devoid of devotional service. So we should be very careful. We should always remember 4 things. First, whenever we are in association of devotees, we should not try to lord it over. It should be the entrepreneurship of all the society. It's not that I should just be the supreme. only I should attain the Lord. I have all the art and I should show all my art. No. If we have some proficiency, then still we should feel that I was not, it was not a, for, it was not possible for me to do it alone. Although I have done it alone, but still we should give credit to others as Hanumanji gave credit to others. When Hanumanji was going to Lanka, he said that till the time I return, you should stay here. Why? Because when I come back, I will bring the news of Sitaji and we will give it together. Hanumanji could have said that, and they all already wanted to leave, but Hanumanji stopped them. Had they left, then all the fame, Hanumanji would have got it. But Hanumanji thought that I will not take the fame alone. When we have come together, then the fame of finding Sita Rani or Sita Maya, everybody should get it. When we are in association, then this is what we should think. Whenever we do any service or book distribution, etc., we should give fame to others. Although maybe you have done, the Lord is aware. Whoever has done the hard work and surrender, the Lord is aware. But when then we should say that all of them have done it. Although you might be doing it, when you have this emotion or feeling, then the Lord will be extremely happy and satisfied. Sarve militva. So another point is we should always have this feeling of servitorship, that we are a servant of the servant. Nobody wants to be the servant. Everybody wants to be the boss. But Mahaprabhu has set the Das, Dasanudas. Everybody should feel that we are the servant of the servant. And when we all come together, then we should have this emotion or feeling to benefit others. How can I benefit others? If I know how to cook well, then I should prepare some good. If I sing, then I should sing well and present it to others. That should be our enterprise. And behavior when we are with someone. We should have this service attitude. Whenever we are in association of devotees, then we should have this service attitude, how we should serve others. So in this manner, Sarve Militva, association is a great thing, but we should be very careful as well. And if we don't take care of this caution,
पार्वती को कहे कि पार्वती सत्संग बहुत बड़ी चीज है.
Shivji told Parvati that association is great, but
के हानि. सत्संग करने से सारे कल्याण तुम्हारे हाथों में आ जाए.
By association of devotees, you will get liberation in your hand. But even the great perfection in your life, in your hand, will fade away if you offend a Vaishnava.
तुम्हारे मुक्ति तुम्हारे हाथों में होगी, लेकिन हाथों में आई हुई मुक्ति चली जाएगी यदि साधु दुखी.
So you will lose the liberation and perfection if you offend a saint. So whenever we are in association of devotees, nobody should be distressed because of us, especially the Vaishnavas. There are 6 types of Vaishnava are offended. So I want to do a katha on these 6 by giving the examples, etc. So, but just let me add here, Hanti, to beat a Vaishnav is a Vaishnav aparad. Nindanti, that is to criticize a Vaishnava, is also an offense. To envy other So there can be so much to be said about it. Vaishnava na abhinandi. So if a Vaishnav is doing work, then we should appreciate that. And if we don't do that, that also is offense. If someone sings well, then we should appreciate that. If someone speaks well, or if someone do something better, we should appreciate them. We just get irritated and agitated. This also is a Vaishnava offense. So some say that we don't say anything, we don't do it. We just keep mute. So you're not doing a great feat. If a devotee is doing good, then he should be appreciated. What is said? Vaishnavat na abhinandati is an offense. And the fourth is krudhyate. To be angry on Vaishnav is in Vaishnava yati, no harsha. If a devotee comes and you don't smile, that also is an offense. When we see a devotee, we should smile and welcome them. We are really happy. We were waiting for you. Our eyes have came out while waiting for you. So this is what we should learn. And in this manner, patanani shat
यदि समूह में मिलकर
becomes the reason for our fall down. Because if we don't be cautious of all these things while we are in association of devotees, what does Bilva Mangal Thakur says? In every home, the gopis used to come together. And if someone asked when, 10 o'clock, 4 o'clock, when? So he says, Samvaya Yoge. So all these gopis or cowherd women used to meet when it was time to meet. So sometimes people say that, what is the best time to perform devotional service or bhajan? When the time when you perform devotional service is the best time or the auspicious time. For eating, do we see a muhurat or an auspicious time? But we don't decide an auspicious time to eat or drink, etc. But for doing devotional service, we think what is the auspicious time. But the auspicious time is when we perform devotional service. When Dashrath had 2 white hair on his ear, he thought that I want to perform devotional service. He asked his spiritual master Visheshi, please give me an auspicious time to make Ram king and want to perform devotional service. And his spiritual master said that the time when you perform devotional service will become the most auspicious time of your life. And in Gujarati, Narsim Mehta has said,
આજની ઘડી તેરણીયા મણી હેજી મારો વાલાને આવ્યાની વધામણી જીરે વધામણી જીરે આજની ઘડી તેરણીયા મણી હો સખી આજની ઘડી તેરણીયા મણી સખી આજની ઘડી તેરણીયા મણી हो सखी आज की घड़ी जो है
so Narsi Mehta says that today's time is the best time to perform devotional service. Today and now is the best time or auspicious time. It's better to do it today than tomorrow, because we don't know when we will lose everything or we will lose our life. So sometimes people say that they give excuse that in India it becomes very late for us, but for watching movies you keep yourself awake. But when you have to listen to the pastimes of the Lord, you say that it becomes late. People find so many excuses, but in truth, in the time when we perform devotional service is the best time. So we are speaking on this Samavaya Yoga. So in every home, all the gopis used to gather together in group and in good time. And if you consider or understand good time, so the time when you perform devotional service is good. So if you want to see the best time, then the early morning, wee hours of the morning, that is Brahma Muhurat, is considered the most auspicious.
अच्छा समय माना
The
जाता है
2 days of Ekadashi are also considered auspicious, and the appearance and disappearance of our great acharyas is also considered to be an auspicious time. The Chaturmas is also considered auspicious. Kartik is considered very auspicious. And in 2023, we have a bonus month, that is Purushottam. So if we perform devotional service anytime is good, but if we want to see from other perspective, then all these are the auspicious time. So let me share my own personal thing. The time when we speak Bhagvatam or just sing the glory of the Lord is when we conclude that time we at least feel satisfied that at least for a few hours, at least I could have the memory of the Lord, and this is the best time. Now, the most important thing from this verse, they used to meet on an auspicious time, and what they used to do, punyani namani patanti nityam. So let me share a practical point of view here. You all have might have quite a few friends, might have friends, well-wishers, and even in devotees, you will have devotee friends and well-wishers as well. But let me tell you a secret. A friend or a devotee who meets you and talks about others or criticizes others, 5-10 minutes, it's still okay. But if every time, whenever they meet, they condemn others or refute others, then you should understand that this is the lowest grade of a friend or a devotee. You should not associate with such people. If it's possible, you should leave them. So I'm just categorizing the devotees here. So a little above than is a devotee or an association doesn't condemn others but discusses others. Even if it's not negative, but they always discuss others, that is also not good. If we proceed little further, a person who praises others is okay, but still he is not the best. It's better than that is one who discusses the incidents of his life, so that from there we can learn or from his experience. And better than that is a well-wisher or a friend who discusses spiritual knowledge, who discusses how to progress, and better than that is who discusses the scriptures, and better than that is rather than discussing other scriptures, who discusses the Bhagvatam. And amongst those who discuss with the scripture Bhagvatam is better. The better one is the one who speaks the glories of the Lord, that is Lord Shri Krishna. How much in detail Acharyas have presented all this knowledge to us. And better than that is the one who discusses the names of the Lord, and amongst those devotees, the better is who is better who discusses these three names.
पुण्यानि नामा निपठन्ति नित्यम् हे पुण्यानि नामा निपठन्ति नित्यम् गोविन्द दामोदर माधवेति। तो जो भगवान के नाम की चर्चा करता है,
those who discuss the names of the Lord are great well-wisher and friend. So I want to speak a lot and I don't want to say in short. So I'm leaving this word patanti and we will discuss this word tomorrow. And then we will discuss the 15th verse, where we'll discuss about the root of Mandar. Krishna will play the flute, and what's the melody and what is the potency. We will listen from the perspective of Bilva Mangal Thakur, and we will conclude the Katha. You all have been listening with so much patience and love. I'm really grateful to all of you. I especially want to thank the family of Vijay Krishna Mataji, in whose memory the organizers of this Katha, Shri Nikunj Gopika Mataji, Vineet Chaprala, and Shalini Chapla, and all the kids of the family. So please, let's conclude the session, the 6th day of this Bhagavatam Katha, with Jai Jaikar.
श्रीमद् भागवतम महापुराण की, श्री कृष्ण चंद्र भगवान की।